Hello and welcome to C.G.Radio. I am your host, Cable Guy. How is everybody out there today in Radio Land? I am well. So, basically, due to the popular response I got from my last interview with Sabu from a lot of people that I know, they strongly suggested that I do a podcast of sorts in order to expand basically the whole basis of what I'm trying to do on here. And I agreed with them. I think it's a great idea. So here we are. This is C.G.Radio. It's a podcast basically about the interviews that I do with the people from the various facets of entertainment and just life in general. You never know who's out there and who's very interesting to hear and who could actually say something that could be very life-changing to you. So, anywho, via social media, I reached out to a guy that I used to follow back when I was into professional wrestling, when I was in my younger days. I used to watch him quite a bit. His name is Perry Saturn. A lot of people remember him from ECW. I remember him most from WCW with his run with Raven's Flock. And he did his time in WWE and TNA, and of course on the indie scene as well after that. And so anyway, I reached out to his wife. She's a very nice lady, by the way. And we set up an interview for very shortly via phone. I will be calling him, and we're going to talk about a lot of things, just about his career and everything like that. And I found him on a GoFundMe page that they're launching a GoFundMe for his medical care because all the years of wrestling were pretty rough on the man. And, he's a lot of them are in a situation for whatever reason or another. And they entertained us for years and years, day in, day out. So, if you're a wrestling fan, show the man some love, and $5, $10, okay, or whatever, and it helps him out a lot. So, without further ado, let's get Saturn here on the phone.
Hello.
Hi, Perry Saturn. How's it going today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, we're just reaching out to you and giving you a call on our podcast here. And, we just wanted to go over a few things about your career, if you don't mind.
All right. I'll try not to lie to you.
Okay, man. All right.
Actually, I'll try not to get caught in a lie to you.
Oh. All right. All right, man. All right. Well, okay. Well, we'll start with the standard and we'll go from there, all right? So,
yeah.
What made you decide to get into wrestling, and how did you, get yourself in the business?
It's just something I wanted to do since I was a little kid. And I was, 18, 19 years old, and they would have wrestling magazines. 4 or 5 of them a month would come out,
Okay.
And Bill Abner was one of the writers on the magazine, and he always, it just seemed like he knew what he was doing. So I wrote him a letter and asked him where I could learn to wrestle, and he sent me to Killer Kowalski School. So that's how I got started, and I went to Walter's School for many years, learning how to do it and waiting for an opportunity,
Okay. So what was Killer Kowalski like to train under?
He was a different kind of guy, just from a totally different generation than I was from, because he was so much older, but he knew so much stuff, and just he had a lot of quirks with magnets and stuff for healing. He did a lot of different, stuff that you had to just kind of go along with and humor him, which I'm not sure how much worked and what didn't work.
Okay.
They have, it's called your bursa sack. It's in your elbow, and I banged it in the ring there, and it blows up looks like a softball's hanging down from your elbow.
Okay.
So it takes a few weeks to heal, right? So he tells me he's got this remedy, and he has me put my hands behind my head. Mm-hmm. So with him standing behind me, he smashes my elbow with a steel chair, which busts the sack, which is something I guess that if you go to the hospital, they'll use an injection and bust it. So you got to bust that sack. He put vinegar on my elbow, wrapped it in saran paper, It told me not to take the saran paper off for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I kept it on. Can't imagine how bad my arm smelled in 2 weeks after being sweaty and vinegar in there. He took the saran paper off, and my arm was healed, which I'm guessing it would have probably been healed anyways.
Okay.
In 2 weeks after that sack was busted. But to him, it was only healed because of the vinegar and the saran wrap and stuff, you know. He had all kinds of crazy stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
And you have to show him respect and do, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, but yeah, so.
Okay. How long did you train before you got to have your first match?
I trained, I'm thinking 4 months maybe, and they had an opening and they had to put somebody in there and he put me in there.
Okay. Okay.
Usually I think you train a little longer.
Okay.
Hunter probably trained like 4 months, 5 months before he went into. Him and I were like two of the earliest guys. Some guys were there over a year before they had a match.
Yeah, I've heard it could take up to 2 years to train to be a wrestler before you're...
Some places, you know, yep.
Okay.
Well, there's a big difference between being ready to work a show for Killer Kowalski and working a show for Vince McMahon, you know.
Right.
There's a big difference in that, so.
Okay. So, what was it like working with the gangsters in ECW? Is New Jack really that crazy in real life?
Oh, yeah, New Jack's crazy as fuck, man.
Oh, yeah.
New Jack is crazy. He's a good guy, you know.
Yeah.
I do anything with him, go anywhere with him, but he's crazy.
Yeah,
If I seen on TV he got arrested for shooting 5 people, I'd believe it, not even think twice.
Right, but
But then if I seen on TV he got burned up running in a building, burning building, saving someone, I believe that too. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, New Jack's a good guy. He's just a high, very outspoken person, you know.
I think he's hilarious, personally. But that's me. I've seen he's pretty funny in his interviews.
Yeah, oh yeah, and he's like that all the time.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Yeah, all the time, so.
Well, what was your memories like working with Taz?
See, I had a different relationship with Taz than most guys. Taz and I were friends, you know.
Okay.
So I never mind working with him. We trained at the ECW House of Hardcore together and stuff. So it's different. Him and I have a different relationship just for the fact that we were friends, you know.
Oh, okay.
So I never mind doing anything with Taz.
Okay. What's Paul Heyman like to work for?
Honestly, I think Paulie is the most. No one's better at getting more out of less than Paulie. He finds everybody's strong point and he emphasizes that and hides their weaknesses always.
Okay.
He just look at he's a genius.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed working for him. Unfortunately for me, working for ECW wasn't the best that I could do.
Right.
So while I was there, I looked to going somewhere else and didn't enjoy my time there as much as I should have.
Right.
Paulie was awesome, you know.
Okay. So, what are your memories like working with Raven?
Well, that's my best friend. So some days I want to kill him. Some days he wanted to kill me, I'm sure. And other days we love each other, you know, best friends, you know.
Right.
We're together all the time. A couple of them years I was with Raven more than I was with my wife, you know.
Right.
Just because of travel and stuff.
Okay.
So.
Now, was the flock as close as they were outside of the ring as they were on screen?
Me, Raven, Lodi, Kidman, and Canyon were together all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
So.
What was Glacier like to work with? You had a feud with him going for a little while, and why don't you think he ever got over with the fans? I used to think his gimmick was cool. Like,
I don't think it was the fans he had a problem with. He had a problem with the older generation wrestlers. They called Glacier and Canyon, Adam Bomb, the Mortal Kombat guys.
Yeah.
But that's what that's all. But they were against that. So I don't think that. I think it was more the veteran guys, you know, who stopped that.
All right. Well, I always got the gimmick. I always thought it was really cool.
Yeah. We call Glacier's nickname is Fat Fingers the Magician.
Oh, really?
He's got the fattest fingers you've ever seen, and he's a magician. Have you ever seen a magician with fat fingers? You need nimble fingers, but he pulls it off.
Right.
Me and Raven and Disco and Kidman would call Glacier Fat Fingers the Magician.
Nice, nice. Did you ever have any encounters with Hulk Hogan or any other NWO members backstage?
No, me and Hall and Nash all got along great. I traveled with them guys many times throughout my career and shit. So, and Hogan was really, he was isolated from us. We did, whether intentionally or not intentionally, he was in his own area all the time.
Right, right, right. Did you ever encounter the Warrior backstage when he came back to WCW?
No, I've probably said hello to him. I've never had a conversation with him.
So what
and
is
it's funny. I think he's a standoffish guy. I am too, so I don't blame him for that. Because he has a friend who I've known for a long time too, who's not in the business, and we still never had a conversation.
Right, right, right.
I think he came in, did his job, and if guys talked to him, they weren't my group of guys.
Right, right, right.
And WCW was very clique orientated. Everybody was in sort of clique,
Oh, I see. Yeah, I've heard stories like that before. It's what was DDP like to work with? Is he Diamond Dallas Page? Is he?
Page is a good guy, man.
Yeah.
I think you can easily misunderstand him because he has such a zest for doing everything correctly, like just a zest for life, being who he is.
Right.
That he comes across obnoxious, but he's not. He's a really kind guy, and but he can really fucking drive you nuts because he's he's overzealous with too many things. Me and Raven worked against him and Benoit on a string of house shows, and it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday morning I had surgery on my back. I could hardly walk, and I was booked on these shows. Scott Norton had to carry my bags for me the whole loop because I couldn't even carry my bags.
Ooh.
And I wasn't getting in the ring enough for Page. And he was pissed about it. Yeah. But he didn't understand that I was fucking hurt,
Right.
And then I find out Raven's bitching at him behind my back because Raven's got a broken finger and he don't want to do anything either,
Right.
And we worked it out just that he thought I was trying to sandbag on him. And Page didn't care if there's 20 people there or 2,000, 20,000, whatever. He's going to bust his ass. But some guys don't. And he thought I was trying not to bust my ass because they're house shows.
Right.
But I was hurt,
Right, right.
But and him and I, that's the only time I think we had a misunderstanding. And he's a great guy.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his Jake the Snake movie he put out recently on Netflix. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I've been meaning to, and I just haven't got around to it.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. I recommend it. Were you surprised when Chris Kanyon committed suicide? Was it because he just couldn't find another job in wrestling, or did he just have inner demons?
I didn't find out for years later because I was strung out on drugs. I had no idea. Devastated by Chris Kanyon was a very good friend of mine when I was wrestling. He was a great guy. In WCW for a while, I worked over 300 days out of the year. And my wife was home alone, and Kanyon would go out to the movies with her and shit so she wouldn't have to sit home alone. Kanyon was a great guy. I was devastated by it. I would have never said he was gay or anything like that when it bothered me.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it.
Yeah, who cares? It's like...
Yeah, it's not, and he should have known that I didn't care.
Right.
But I was out of touch, nobody could get a hold of me, and not that I could have saved and made any difference. But to find out later, that really hurt me, because somebody should have been there for him, and I really wish they were. Because he was a good guy.
Right.
One of the very few guys who are generally good inside.
I've heard he was actually really, really intelligent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Raven's very intelligent. I've seen his interviews. You were right. He is very intelligent.
Yes. Kanyon and him, I think that's why Scotty Raven liked him so much, because they could talk intellectually together and stuff,
Right. Okay. Did you know
a lot of times I think Raven, due to some whatever insecurity you get when you're a genius,
right?
They all seem to have a problem. I think a lot of times he deliberately talked down to people because he didn't feel they could talk to his level. And I think he enjoyed people like Kanyon where he thought he could sit and they could understand each other,
Okay. Now, Did you know the Renegade? You know
Yes, I did.
Really? What was he like?
Well, I wrestled with him a million times before he went anywhere, in the Kowalski area, and he was always nice. Once I got to WCW, I never seen him, so I have no idea what happened, the whole story behind that. So I don't know what happened. He cracked under the pressure. He didn't turn out to be the star he thought he was going to be. I have no idea what happened. When I worked with him on Kowalski shows, and this guy, Richard Byrne, would throw shows up in that New England area, I worked for him on his shows. We got along fine. I never had a problem with him. He's always friendly, polite, So I have no idea what happened. Somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true, but somebody told me that him and the girlfriend were fighting, and somehow a gun got involved, and he tells the girlfriend, something like, I don't care, I'll just kill myself. And he put the gun to his head and pulled the fucking trigger.
Oh, wow. Oh, geez.
So that's pretty, I'm not a suicide person. I never think about that.
Right.
But I could see where somebody could do it in the heat of anger. I don't know what he thought.
Yeah.
First of all, I respect loaded weapons, and I'm not going to put one in my head.
Right. No, well, yeah, obviously.
But so there was, and I don't even know if that's true now, but I heard that from maybe the ex-girlfriend, because she knew my wife at the time. I think I heard it from her, and I'm not positive. I'm losing my mind a little bit.
Okay.
But I think that's a true. I think that's pretty accurate.
Right. Okay. So moving on here, who was the nicest guy backstage, and who was the biggest dick?
I was probably the biggest dick, and the nicest. There's so many guys that are cool, in different situations. I don't know. I can't really pin anybody out. Most guys got along great with everybody. I don't know. I really can't tell you. I don't have a guy I can single out. I really got along with a lot of people.
Okay. Well, that's good. Can't go
and
wrong.
I really have problems with a lot of people. If I did, they were sorted out in the ring, so there was never a problem in the locker room.
Okay. So, who's the toughest guy you ever known backstage?
Well, Tonga is probably one of the toughest guys on the planet, period.
All right. And
well, you can't even argue that.
Okay.
But another guy I always tell people, and they always seem surprised, and I don't know why they're surprised. One of the toughest fuckers I ever met is Chris Jericho.
Oh, really?
He does this goofy, comedy routine, and they all think that's him. That is one tough son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah,
If you don't believe me, I'll tell you, go to find the Nitro match with him and Scott Steiner. During that time, Scott Steiner was just killing everybody, giving them nothing. That shit didn't fly with Chris. He stopped that. In the WWE locker room, in a matter of 2 minutes probably, he choked Goldberg out twice.
Yeah, I was about to say, he defeated Goldberg, okay,
No, in the locker room, twice. Oh, he choked Goldberg out, let him up, Goldberg came at him again, he choked him out again.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that story of him talking about him, how he put him in a front face lock. Yeah, that's something there. So this leads to my follow-up question, and I ask everybody this. If they were both in their prime, who do you think would win in a fight? Haku or Brock Lesnar?
Haku ran an island when he was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
I don't think that him in the close second is Barbarian. People forget, but Haku and Barbarian, they ran that fucking whole island when they were teenagers.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't mess with Haku. No day, no chance, no how. I wouldn't go against him if I had a bazooka.
Oh, wow. Now, I heard this story on a Ric Flair shoot interview. Did he really throw some dude out a second-story window in Japan?
In Gas Panic, in the bar Gas Panic. Right through the window. Well, I've seen him. Let me tell you what I've seen him do. We were in Penn State. The Nittany Lions played football there. And we were at the bar after a night while drinking. One of the offensive linemen had a hustle with somebody. Haku comes in there, pushes the guy aside, tries to back him up. He charges at Haku. He grabs him, chokes him out, down to his back.
Yeah.
He's bent over with his hand on him. Another lineman comes running at him. He doesn't even stand up. He reaches up with the other hand and chokes him out and lays them both out right next to each other out cold.
Oh my God! Wow. Well, so what happened at that thing with Japan when he threw the dude out the window? Like, did the dude live or die, or all I know?
I don't know. I just know he did. That's a very well-known story there. If you go there, you'll always see the window that he threw him through.
Yeah.
And the bar was called the Gas Panic.
All people
in Tokyo.
All people say is he's not allowed in Japan no more after the whole thrown through the second story. Okay. So moving on here. So who's the toughest guy you battled against when you were in the hardcore division in WWE?
Steve Blackman.
Okay. I believe that.
Yep. No, it's Steve Blackman's a guy that I got along great with too, which is a good thing because if not, Steve would kill you.
Right. Well, his whole thing, why I think it got over so well with fans, is he was like legitimate. You did not want to mess with this guy, or you wish you had, type of thing.
And I don't what maybe the wrestling fans don't know. He's one of them survivalist nuts in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I'm sure he has a stockade of weapons somewhere in the mountains.
I'm sure I could see that.
I'm also sure he has a pile of bodies somewhere up in the mountains too.
Well, he is a bail bondsman, and not for nothing. That job, like, if you're a nice guy, you're not going to last very long in that business.
Steve's a great guy.
Right,
but
right.
He likes me. Him and I got along. I would not want to be on the bad side of him, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, I heard a story where he dropped the Big Show just like with some like leg lock thing when he was just on his back.
Yeah, he did. Bradshaw was, a rough and tumble guy, and Bradshaw did something to him that pissed him off, and he made Bradshaw apologize to him in front of the whole locker room, and Bradshaw did it without a problem because he did not want to have to be on Steve's bad side.
Oh, right. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, JBL. Huh.
Because me and Dean Malenko would hang around with Steve a lot and shit. Steve was a great guy to us. But then other guys I'm sure hated him as much as they hated me.
Right.
But for Steve would kill you. I'm just a bullshit guy having a good time,
Right.
I have like I said, if they found 50 bodies in the Pennsylvania mountains and linked them to him, I would go, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Did you ever have any altercations with Bradshaw?
No, I got along great with Bradshaw. Me and Dean and Bradshaw and Ron Simmons would go out all the time drinking. I got along great with them guys.
Okay. Did you ever get in any backstage fights with anyone?
No,
No.
We did it in the ring. I don't even. They're very uncommon. Any sort of backstage things,
Right. Yeah. So who came up with that Moppy idea, and why did they push it that so hard? Because it's a well-known fact you hated it.
Yeah, it was a punishment, is what it was. This kid dropped me on my head.
Right, Mike Bell.
Knocked me out on my feet. I got up and beat the shit out of him.
Right.
I didn't even know I was doing it. I was just out.
Yeah.
And out of that, my explanation wasn't satisfactory, and somehow they came up with this. Because that was the next thing we did on TV,
Right.
Well, and unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to try to run with it. Because by the time they got rid of it, it got over.
Okay. So after, because believe it or not, I actually watched that match happen years and years and years ago on what was it on Metal Velocity Shotgun or something?
Yep.
Yeah, because I didn't have cable, so I had to watch it on that, and then my buddy taped the pay-per-views and wait till Monday to watch them. So, but when I watched it, I had a hard time deciphering that was real or not. But after that all happened, was there a lot of heat backstage between you and Mike Bell, or was it pretty much over?
No, I apologized to him right away. I was a star. He wasn't, so there wasn't much he was going to say. I was wrong to an extent, but I did it instinctively.
Okay.
So, Vince and I had a long conversation. Vince was not happy about it at all.
Okay.
And I told him that he goes, you just can't let it happen again. And I kept trying to explain to him, well, Vince, I didn't let it happen this time. I was out. I really don't know what happened.
Okay.
And it just wasn't a satisfactory response to him, And it was a big deal, but I felt bad for it, but there was nothing I could do.
Right. You know. Okay. So,
Because Mike was one of them guys who was easy to work with, would do anything,
okay.
like so, and it was uncharacteristic of him to have a problem with somebody as well. So, but it wasn't uncharacteristic for me to have a problem. So it looked like I was typically having a problem.
Okay. I understand. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you ever, during your run in the WWE and WCW and ECW, were you the one doing the ribbing backstage or being ribbed on?
I don't like ribbing. I didn't rib people, and like there wasn't a lot of ribbing around me. I don't know. It just wasn't. I wasn't around any of that.
Right. Okay. I understand. All right.
So I like one time in the back, I'm standing there and I'm talking to Bobby Heenan, who I love.
Okay.
Bobby Heenan, awesome. And I noticed that he's holding my boot and he's sticking toilet like paper towels in my boot. And finally I catch on. I go, Bobby, what the fuck are you doing? He goes, oh, sorry. He goes, I was trying to rib you. And I took my boot out of his hand and pulled the shit out. And that was like the only thing I can remember,
Okay. So, what wrestling scene did you like working on the most? The U.S., Europe, or Japan?
U.S.
Okay.
I'm a U.S. guy.
Okay.
I'm a U.S. guy. I love it here. Always good. I don't know. It's just good to be home.
Right. No, I understand. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Now, as you've stated in previous interviews, you went through a rough period of addiction and homelessness, and during those times, to support yourself, you collected debts for drug dealers. Now, did anyone ever refuse to pay up to you, or?
I'm a very convincing person.
Oh, I believe that.
That's why I was able to collect.
Okay.
People who get refused are not able to collect.
Oh, I understand. Now, whenever you knocked on some guy's door who owed someone money and you were collecting, were there ever holy shit, Saturn's at my door?
I have no idea.
Okay. 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 So I see you're making a comeback, and which is great, by the way. So, is there any hopes of seeing you appear on television anytime soon, like making an appearance at
No, actually, I'm not making a comeback. I'm struggling with I have traumatic brain injury from concussions. I'm struggling with trying to keep my health right now and not lose my mind completely. I feel like I'm in a descent to dementia, and I'm just trying to stay ahead of that. There's no chance of ever seeing me do anything. It's just I'm not able.
I didn't know. Oh, my mistake. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm just not able. There's no I'm lucky to make a date from day.
Okay. I understand. So how did you spend your time when you were not working?
What time is that?
No, I mean back during your career. What did you do during your off time?
Well, I was almost never off once I started.
Okay.
Once I got going full time, I went to Memphis, me and John, and you worked 6 days a week there. And then I went to ECW, and from there I went to WCW, where I worked over 300 days a year. And then the WWE, while I was working, I was never off.
Okay. I understand. I know how that is.
And I always thought that someday I would get to sit back and enjoy it, And I partied like an insane fool the whole time I was gone on the road and shit,
Okay. That happens. So we're almost done here, man. So okay. So last two questions. Okay. The first one is, have you ever played yourself in any of the video games you were in? You played?
No.
Really?
No. I played a Madden. I'm a big NFL fan. That's the only game I've ever played. The wrestling games at the time, when somebody showed them to me, seemed too much to me. You got to move the sticks, doing all. I just said fuck it. But I'm a big Madden fan. I play the Madden game.
Okay, that's cool. Madden is great. Okay, so and last but finally not least. Okay, now as I said, when I was talking to you, when I first reached out to you and everything about how there's legit problems that kids who grew up during the Attitude Era and the NWO era and during the WWE and WCW had to face. An example of one of them is there's not a wrestling fan alive who's in the workforce now who hasn't like fantasized about flipping their boss off and giving him a stone cold stunner. Okay, so
Yeah.
but there's actually one that like are you aware that like another legitimate problem fans had to face growing up? Okay, if you're a wrestling fan, even if you weren't, you can't do it anymore. But because of your finishing move, the Death Valley Driver, which you make very popular, if you were standing by a pool back in the day, there was always a possibility you could get Death Valley Drivered into a pool.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's one of the like that is a legit problem that like your finishing move.
That doesn't sound like a wrestling problem. That sounds like a parental control problem.
Right.
But I'm not one of them guys who my kid did something and I'm going to go, well, it's because he watched this TV show. No, that sounds like a parental control.
Right.
That's probably going to be unpopular, but that's my opinion.
Oh, no, well, I'm just kidding around with that question, but
no, but I'm just saying, that's to me, it could be a real problem, and to me, that sounds like parental control. The kids are totally out of control now, I think, and that's parental control.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you on that, but that's a whole other podcast right there, man.
Yeah, all right, man.
All right, Perry. Well, it's been very good talking with you, man.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Take care, man.
Okay, bye now.
Bye.
All right, and there you have it, everybody. He's a very interesting guy, as we can hear. It's he's got a lot to say about a lot. He's been around. He's seen a lot here and there, and he seems like a really cool dude, and I really hope for the best for him. So, like I said before, go check out his GoFundMe page. Show the man some love if you used to follow him, and he really appreciates it. And I do have more wrestlers for the future that I got on deck for this the future editions of C.G.Radio. And this is Cable Guy signing out. Be well, everybody.